Home run hitters used to be the anomaly, the special, more than lifelike heroes, much like Babe Ruth, who could put the ball out of the ballpark on any given swing. But since the turn of the century, the focus has become on everyone on the team being a home run hitter. And it doesn't matter how big or small you are. Whether it's 6'2", 250-pound slugging Vladimir Guerrero Jr., or the slender 6', 180-pound Ronald Acuna Jr., or even the 5'6", 165-pound Jose Altuve, anyone can hit home runs now. And that is happening because of an increased focus on launch angle, exit velocity, and keeping the ball off the ground and focusing on line drives and deep fly balls, which in turn are going to lead to more home runs. So I decided to go out and experiment with my swing to give myself an idea of what launch angle really feels like. Alright, so launch angle and exit velocity, they go together hand in hand like peanut butter and jelly basically. So when we talk launch angle, we're talking about driving the ball over the outfielder's head, not hitting it high enough where it's going to be easily caught, and not hitting it on the ground where 9 times out of 10 you're going to be thrown out at first base. So when we talk about exit velocity, we're trying to take all of our body and take that momentum and drive it through the baseball. So what we're going to do is focus on 3 things: our shoulders, our back knee, and our hips. First, with our shoulders, they're going to recoil and load just like you're shooting a rubber band. If you pull it back at its max distance, it's going to fly as far as it can go. If you don't pull it at, maybe you pull it only at 75%, it's not going to go as far as it should. So that's what your shoulders are doing, not your hands, not your arms. It's your shoulders, back in your shoulder blades, that are going to do the job. Just think about if I had a stick right here on my shoulders that was also connected with the bat. They would look like 2 parallel lines as they came through here and through contact with the baseball. So that's the first thing you want to focus on. Second is your back knee. Your back knee is going to drive down and create that leverage as if you're using the ground to your advantage. That's where you do all your work, as if you were lifting something, as if you were pushing something, right? That's what you're going to use to create that leverage, and that's where you get to drive and get that long fly ball, long line drive off the bat. Last thing is the hips. This is where all of your power is going to come from. You're going to turn and go with the hips. Think about kicking a soccer ball or even a football kicker, right? They're going to use all of their body to establish that power, and that's where the hips do the work. It doesn't matter how big or small you are, you still have a lot of torque, a lot of power in those hips. So when it all comes together, it looks a little something like this. So once I started to take some hitting practice, I showed just what it would look like if you were only focusing on ground balls, and you see the ball pretty much going straight down to the ground. Now, as I took a regular swing, you'll see how the ball is flying off the bat and in the air at this point. Now, slow motion will give a better look to what we're trying to focus on when we look at the swing. And as you see the load, you see a high leg kick, which is not really necessarily the most important thing for all hitters using a launch angle approach. But as you see, as the foot comes down, it doesn't close, it opens up sort of towards the pitcher, and you see how the hips fly, the shoulders turned, and you see the back knee really drive straight down to the ground, which is what creates the power for someone like me who doesn't have the frame of a bigger, stronger athlete. In slow motion again, we'll see how everything has to work together, and the biggest thing you take out of this is how little the hands have to do, and they just come for the ride as my hips, my back knee, and my shoulders do the job, and really all the hands have to do is make sure the ball gets connected with the barrel of the bat. So if you ever flip on a baseball game or a home run derby and you see these athletes smashing the balls out of the park, at least now you'll have somewhat of an idea of how they got there, the process to get there, and why it's so easy for them compared to the average baseball player to hit them out.